It's the magnificent Peppy Yarrow here. Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone today? Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler. I have a guest today. I have a friend. I brought a friend with me. How exciting is that, chat? Everyone, this is M1. Now you can introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm M1 and I'm here to talk on Pepper's first pep talk.
Yay! Keep going.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a musician and composer and I make lots of wonderful music for YouTube and for fellow VTubers as well.
Like me.
I'm here today as I did Pepper's background music, along with plenty of others. And so that's pretty much what I do for a living.
Yay! And why are you here today, Em? Why are you here, Em Papa?
I've been dragged here against my will to...
He couldn't escape.
Yeah. No, I've travelled far and wide for this, so yeah, I hope it's worth it.
This is technically my first offline collab. M Papa is in my house. Somewhere. I don't know where yet. I haven't found him. I'll let you know when I do.
I'm in the cupboard.
Oh no! That's where I keep my moderators. Locked up under the stairs, where they should be.
Yes. Speaking of which, the reason why you know me is because, we've known each other for a few years, but basically I am one of your moderators, one of two, and effectively a community manager of sorts. So yes. I tell you I don't tell you what's a good idea. You come to me with ideas and I say, no, that's too far-fetched, Pepper.
Do you know the only idea you've told me no to so far?
What's that?
Do you remember I was going to do 72 hours of Pepper? And I was going to get other streamers called Pepper to stream in a relay. I was going to contact every VTuber called Pepper. And I was going to stream in a relay, like one after the other. And you just went, that's a terrible idea. And you told me no.
I stand by that decision.
That's the only time you've said no to an idea. Everything else has been like, we'll think about it, or maybe. Apparently you're now the protagonist of the stream.
Yeah.
Apparently you've taken over my stream. You might be able to deal with it, I can't. I thank God for M for that one. That's not fair. I thought it was a good idea. I still think it might be a good idea, but apparently everyone else thinks it's awful. Just a nightmare to moderate, I think, would have been the thing. And a nightmare to try and get like a whole bunch of people on board that were all called Pepper. Especially because I think I've only ever met one other Pepper so far. So it would have been me for 36 hours and then her for another 36 hours. But yeah, you happy to be on the Pep Talk? You happy to be here,
Absolutely.
and Papa?
Yeah, I guess we can call this a pilot, can't we?
Debut.
Debut. One of many, I hope.
Matt Crocious, you can't be serious. What about the Pepper idea? It would have been very fun. I think it would have been. I could have streamed for 36 hours. I don't know about the other Pepper, but I'm a bit of a marathon streamer.
We'll come back to the idea, in a few years maybe, once we find some more peppers.
He's saying no.
Anyway, why are we here today? I'm taking over the stream now.
Because I was bored. I was bored.
You were bored.
You were already coming to mine to spend Christmas with, we'll circle back to it. Yeah, that was basically, we'll think about it. That was like when I asked my mum to do something, she'd be like, we'll think about it. Maybe. Some other time. But no, Pep Talks are a thing that I've been working on. Actually, Pep Talks precedes the channel. I knew that I always wanted to do something called Pep Talks. That was one of my two ideas. And Pep Talks are our discussions about a specific topic. They're like just chatting streams with purpose. Or podcasts. But not really a podcast, because I'm not going to upload it anywhere other than YouTube.
A Pepcast.
A Pepcast. I could have called it Pep Talk. No, Pep Talk works. I think Pep Talk works. Em made this lovely logo for me. I think it looks like I'm an NFL sports team or something. I want it to glow. That would have been cool, but we didn't get it to glow because it didn't ask until now if we could get it to glow. But yeah, we're gonna go on.
Sorry, I'm working on a mobile rig at the moment. Like I've only brought my laptop with me, so I can't make the logo glow. Excuses. Don't give me excuses. Give me results. That's a Madagascar joke. We started drinking before the stream, so this is not only our pilot pep talk. This is also, I'm getting a bit teehee. You're probably not, but I am.
But yeah, we are talking about AI today. That is the main topic of discussion. We're gonna...
What is AI?
Oh god. That was a terrible segue. This isn't your channel now.
Abracadabra.
Oh god, no. Oh, but can you give me a hello? Can you give me hellos, please?
Hello.
I want you to do my hellos. 7 hellos in a row in the Pepper style and see how you do.
Hello, 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 hello.
We'll work on it.
Luckily, I don't need to do it, so yeah.
This is true. But we decided that one topic of conversation that seems to be coming up a lot lately, that we both have some sort of form of expertise in, is AI. For those of you who do not know, I am... Don't be cringe as the bun. My chat is already turning against me, as they do every collab. Some of you might not know, in real life I am a university student, and in real life I study artificial intelligence. I'm in my 2nd year at the moment. I'll be graduating next year. So I have some expertise on AI, the formulation of AI and the history of AI. When will the NFTs be sold? They won't. Although if you want to donate to my Ko-fi, please do. For Christmas. And Papa, what's your experience with artificial intelligence?
I've used it before. That's about it, really. Yeah, no, I was sort of like an enjoyer of AI to start with. You know,
I liked AI enjoyer.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously, you know, even if you go back like 2 years, you know, everybody was like, yeah, AI is great. You know, the meme potential of AI was big. And so, yeah, no, that was a good thing to see. And then suddenly it all turned.
We ended up in dystopia, which is what happens every time we create new technology that's exciting. We start off strong and then we end up in dystopia somehow.
Yeah.
And Papa is demanding your height. Macro's demanding your height, by the way, and Papa.
Is Papa Bunny 6'2", right? Yes.
He actually is 6'2". He's a full foot taller than me. I remember when we first met and you were much taller than me, I was like, ah, fuck. I was like, no, how do I always surround myself with people who are over 6 foot and everyone's taller than me? Lauren is also over 6 foot, by the way, so that's not fun. Everyone around me. Ah! Sorry.
Pepper is kawaii height.
I am actually 5'2", yes. But yeah, we are heading towards a dystopian world, Papa. That we have no way back now. We've created AI. We've opened Pandora's box, and now we cannot close it. Hello, Kilroy. Hello. Welcome to the stream. When do you think the AI world domination is going to start? Papa.
Not for a while yet. I think it's still in its infancy. Not that I'm an advocate for it, but
I think if more people know how dumb AI actually is at the moment, people would realize that world domination is quite a far way off.
And there are, I mean, since AI was created, there's been rules and regulations against AI domination as such. So, you know,
we do.
There's always a kill switch.
Always. Normally it's just a big old server. A big old computer that we can just turn off at any time.
Until Skynet, of course.
Yes, of course. I sort of started studying AI, or being interested in AI a while back. I think it was... I started watching a YouTube channel called 2 Minute Papers. I think you've seen 2 Minute Papers as well, right?
Good channel, yeah.
Good channel, yeah. It covers all sorts of, like, sort of leaps forward in AI. And covers all sorts of...
Scarlets.
Don't get me wrong, most AI requires a database to work. Not a database so much, but a data set. Do you think that Pepper can someday become waifu material? I don't, by the way. That's harsh.
It'll take a lot of work, yeah.
The absolute slander happening right now in my chat. I am a waifu. I'm very cute. And I don't believe that that this is happening to me. But yeah, oh, wrong face. There we go. But yeah, I guess we should start with what AI is. Which is a code. It's code. It's just code. It's normally scripting language and this, that, and the other that is designed to give us an outcome. Basically, AI is given a problem and AI then provides a solution. That is the base form of all of AI. That is how my university tutors gave us the breakdown of what it is. Whether that problem is find what music people listen to on Spotify and give them more of that music, or I want to see what it would look like if Winnie the Pooh was taking on Mickey Mouse on a basketball field. Basketball court. My British is showing. That's kind of just how AI is. What it kind of isn't is, I guess, sentient, really. AI can only learn what we teach it. And we teach it using data sets. So that data set will be normally curated by people on a base level. And then that data set then grows. Normally was run through something called machine learning too, where it will do things like tag and archive data according to certain parameters. Stop me if I'm making stuff up now, Em.
There's obviously two sides of it. Machine learning is one form of AI, which specifically makes use of a data set in order to learn from, or even generates a data set of its own to learn from. So
I like cow hoof trimming videos on YouTube. And then YouTube learns that I like cow hoof trimming videos. And it recommends me more cow hoof trimming videos. And then because people who also like cow hoof trimming videos also like people cleaning rugs, I also magically then get recommended people cleaning rugs just in case I like that too.
Yeah, that's more of a traditional sense of AI as well. If we think about AI in video games, it literally just means that the computer is making decisions based on a predefined set of parameters. If you think about AI in video games, like NPCs and stuff like that walk around, AI in that sense is just, hey, here's point A, here's point B, make a path between them. That's a totally legit form of AI as well.
Yeah, I agree. But that's always the thing you've got to understand about AI. It's normally parameters, set parameters. That's kind of the thing. So that's what AI is and isn't, basically. Despite what I looked up AI videos on YouTube earlier, right? And so many of them were like, AI has become sentient. So Elon Musk asked this AI if he had a conscience, and he said yes. And that's kind of not true. Even remotely. Because sentience...
He's not a Sir for one, is he? He's not Sir Elon Musk, is he?
Did I call him Sir Elon?
I think so.
Oh, fuck.
I'm giving him accolades he hasn't got.
I know. But that kind of isn't really a thing. Sentience requires a lot more than I think people understand. Sentience requires our own ability to formulate opinions and actions depending on our own personal self-interest. And AI doesn't have self-interest. And neither does AI really have thoughts and opinions. It's got parameters that it stays within. But also, if you're trying to, say, create a chatbot that's really good and really, human-like, then of course if you ask the chatbot, hey, do you have a consciousness, the chatbot's going to respond yes, because that's the human response to give, if that makes sense.
It's learning from behaviors rather than from a source of empathy or anything like that.
Yes. I did not know that Elon stands were called muskrats. That's really harsh to muskrats. I love muskrats. I love all kind of rats. Horizontally spinning rats are my favorite. Which I kind of brings us to point 2, which is people's perception of AI. What do you think about people's perception of AI, Em? Is it getting better or worse? I can guarantee I know the answer to that.
Drastically reducing.
Yeah, getting worse by the day.
But obviously it's not the fault of AI, though.
No.
AI should be a good thing, in terms of speeding up processes or, allowing people to do things that they couldn't normally do. But therein lies the other problem where people exploit that.
Yes.
And so we're getting a lot of misuse of AI, meaning that a lot of people are now becoming disenfranchised in it. And rightly so, because it's that exploitation that is giving it a bad name.
I think the biggest thing, when I put out on Twitter that I was doing this episode, or whenever I spoke to anyone specifically about this pep talk, the biggest thing that people were concerned about was their jobs. That was kind of the continuous thing that I got from people was, the main thing I'm worried about when it comes to AI is I don't want to lose my job. I don't want people to lose jobs over the fact that their jobs will no longer exist. I do want to say we're quite a far away from that. There are many jobs that I do not believe that AI will be able to do, just because they require things like empathy and vast, in-depth human contextual knowledge, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the one thing that AI is not great at on a wide basis is caveats and, things that require nuance.
Yes. That's kind of the thing that AI struggles with, is nuance. It's either sort of all or nothing with AI, and it doesn't understand. Say like, so I got a not a parking fine, but I got a vehicular fine recently. This was a saga that happened earlier on in the year that Em and Laura know a lot about. And there was some nuance to it, in that I, at some point, had to talk to a legal representative of the court and explain in detail why I hadn't done a thing I needed to have done, right? And and because of that, I got a lot of that fine reduced. Because there was a lot of caveats in place of, well, the court fucked up, I kind of also fucked up a little bit, but not as much as the court thought I fucked up, and there were reasons why I fucked up. And eventually they lowered the fine to a ridiculously small payment, basically, didn't they? And it's that kind of thing that AI struggles with, is if this action has taken place. Like, AI, most coding uses a lot of Boolean terms. Something is either on or off, true or false, right or wrong kind of thing, yeah? And when we're writing, code, because we have to think of AI in code form, when we're writing if or else and loops like that, we have a default at the end, but we only have so many inputs that we can input into that loop. Yeah? Are you still alive?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm agreeing, violently.
Okay, because silently agreeing, just, far too many exceptions to do if or else loops. Exactly. So there's way too many exceptions, whereas a human would be able to hear a lot of that and go, okay, so this is what happened, and I'm understanding how we fucked up, and I'm understanding how and why you fucked up, and I'm going to apply a monetary value to that thought. And AI can't really do that, because AI doesn't understand caveats and human error and general defects in people kind of thing. Also, didn't you say they made an automated Taco Bell recently?
There is one, yes. But they've also recently made an automated McDonald's in Texas.
Wow.
From what I hear.
And didn't you also say it gets, orders wrong more than people do?
Especially the Taco Bell, yes. It's been reported that, it misses items off quite frequently.
I mean, that's kind of what Lauren's saying. He said that his last job brought in AI robots to test replacing workers, and it cost a lot of money. It was a big failure. It's just, Macca's is going to be trashed. I mean, it was the same with abroad in Japan. Recently once said that he went to the robot hotel. You know the robot hotels in Japan? There's like 4 or 5 of them. They're all entirely run by robots, but he said it was kind of shit because basically most of the robots didn't work. I mean, especially when you're adding a robot to AI, that's a lot of hardware that can and will go wrong. If you just think about the amount of times you've turned a PC on and it's kind of working, but you need to reboot it one more time because Windows hasn't quite loaded up correctly.
I mean, this is always the other fear as well, is that AI is prone to human error, much like humans are, because humans have developed it. And although AI is as much as a science as anything else that is scientific and can be tested and tested and tested until it works, it's still going to have things that lurk in there that are untested, that will surprise people and then gets things catastrophically wrong sometimes.
Yes, I agree. I think that sometimes... I recently did a software testing module. So I had to learn about software testing and the art of software testing, as it were. Mm-hmm. And like most of the things we learned were, hey, humans make a lot of errors, especially when coding. And it takes a long time to test software works correctly because of bugs and defects and failures and this, that, and the other. But then also, one of the primary principles of software testing is that exhaustive testing is impossible. You will never get rid of every single bug. And you'll never get rid of every single defect or every single failure. Which means that AI will always do something wrong. Like people. Is AI prone to degradation over time, either to do with the bots attached to them or the comp it's running on getting slower? A lot of the time now, AI is cloud-based, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think of IBM's Watson, that's cloud-based. Because I can use it at uni. And DeepL and things like that, all of them are hosted on cloud servers. So degradation shouldn't happen there. But excess code would be an issue. At what point would you consider an AI good enough to seamlessly mimic sentience online? Remember that robot? Remember that AI that Twitter made racist?
You're talking about...
What's her name? Tara or something like that?
Oh no, it's Microsoft's Tay.
Tay.
I think it was.
Yeah,
Tay,
they gave a bot to Twitter. They were like, interact with Tay, and we'll like gather material on like how people tweet and interact with social media and this, that, and the other, and she'll tweet sentences and it'll be fun. And I think like within a day she was racist.
Yep, she became a Nazi and then had to be shut down.
Yeah. Also, we're not allowed to say that word on YouTube. Thanks for that.
Oh my goodness.
The patsies.
Yeah, absolutely. So she became one of those and had to be shut down. Purely because the way that chatbot had been designed was that it was taking inputs to continually improve or change the data set.
Yes.
You know, which is one thing that people are expecting the current day art generators to be doing as well. Not quite the same. But yeah, this chatbot was actively learning on chat inputs from people as it was going along. So in the end, it just got more and more weighted towards the inputs of the people exploiting the AI.
Yes.
And
which turned out to be 4chan. 4chan found out that this AI was there and they were like, oh, hell yeah. We've been waiting for this. There's been a slow day on 4chan. We haven't had enough racist stuff to say.
Whereas there has been attempts more recently that have shown that we can get a more reasonable chatbot.
What about the Google one?
I was thinking about ChatGPT.
Oh, GPT. GPT is the one that writes code for you as well. That's the main thing I know GPT to do.
It's very intelligent in the sense of fooling you that it's, you know, pretending to be a human. But, you know, it's still... Still not as fluent or as warm as a human would be, but yeah, it's got some good quirks to it.
So I once went to the National Museum of Computer Science.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I told you. This was when I went to what's that place called? The Alan Turing decoded the Enigma.
I don't know.
Bletchley Park. I went to Bletchley Park. Right. Next to Bletchley Park, if you ever go to Bletchley Park, next to it is a museum called the National Museum of Computer Science. You should go there too because it's really cool. They got lots of old technology. Stuff from like when Em was a child.
Woo.
Yeah. Because now people might call me a boomer bunny, but Em Papa is like older than me. So Em is the real 40, boomer.
Canonically, surely.
Everyone who I know was up at 2 a.m. Thank you for the Merry Christmas kit. Hope you have a Merry Christmas too. Hello. Welcome to the stream. But when we went to the National Museum of Computer Science, we had to do an exercise where there was a chatbot built into the PCs, right? And we all hooked up. There was like, how many of us from uni went? I think like 20 or 30 of us from uni went, yeah? So there's 30 of us.
What, like the Matrix?
No, right, okay, I'll explain. There were 30 of us and we all entered a chat room, yeah? And we basically turned it into Among Us, where we all had to talk. And there was like 30 of us in the chat, and 30 of us in the class, and 40 people in the chat room. And 10 of them were bots. And we had to fool each other into thinking we were either bots or humans, basically, yeah? And the bots were really obvious, because the bots do not understand that. So when we think of English language, because we have to think of English language, because a lot of AI is written in English, and that chatbot is designed to speak in English, yeah? Chatbots are expecting proper English, right? So chatbots don't understand the difference between me saying, "How are you?" Yeah? To like, "You're right, you're okay," and all the different ways that we ask people if they're okay, yeah? So...
You're right.
You're right. So the chatbot wouldn't recognize things like HRU and things like that, because that's not a sentence. It would like check its dictionary and be like, that does not exist. And chatbots lack the nuance of, say, understanding English English as it is spoken or as it is written. Which means that actually misspelling something can cause the AI to be a bit confused as well. But that was fun. So I think it's going to be a while until AI is good enough to seamlessly mimic sentience online, because I think that sentience requires a lot. Sentience requires everything from me being able to give you an opinion on the weather to giving you a breakdown of how I ended up being scared of water because my mum let me drown. And it's just not something that we need, if that makes sense. Like, I don't understand the point of designing a sentient AI because it serves no function. Sentience doesn't really do anything. Unless you disagree there.
It's not a solution to a problem, is it?
No, yeah. If we're just if we're declaring that AI is a solution to a problem, I do not understand any problem that is served with giving an AI sentience. Which is kind of the problem. Sentience doesn't do anything. Well, like, it's the same. I have a problem with bipedal robots as well, because I don't think that bipedal robots offer anything. Like, they just look like people. But many animals and creatures did not evolve to be bipedal for a reason. Doesn't give us anything.
Stick some wheels on it, call it a day.
Well, I like the Boston Dynamic robots. They're my favorites. Except for those people that kick them.
Yeah, people keep
I think it's funny when they get kicked. No! I understand why they kick them, because they want to test the stability. Because the whole point of the Boston Dynamics robots is they can go places that people can't. So they can scale mountains and this, that, and the other easily, unlike a person. I just remembered you did a song about robots.
Did I?
Yeah. You've done a couple.
Really?
Also, hello, Crow. Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for dropping by and giving support. Perfect Machine's about robots.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
And Papa's trying to remember his own discography.
I always forget my Game Grumps remixes because I don't typically write them, but yeah.
Reset Me uses a robot.
Reset Me. It is robot themed, effectively, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a breakup song, but it's also got a robot in it singing it. Unless you're talking about the album version, which doesn't have a robot in it singing it.
What do you mean? I am a robot. Beep,
No,
boop.
you're not. Beep boop, beep boop. Mimicking
This has
sentience.
been an experiment all along.
Mimicking sentience would be good for getting a working social experiment without needing to bother people or having people purposely skewer results. Would be rather difficult though. But any social experiment that involves people will want to study the human brain's reaction to things. And you can't have a human brain's reaction to things without a human involved. Like, you know that experiment? I just remember one of my favourite experiments. You know the one where the teacher's electrocuting someone?
No.
Have you never heard of this one? There's an experiment done. And basically, they bring someone into a room. A teacher. I think they were all teachers. There was like 10 of them. And the teacher is told, you're going to ask this other person a series of questions. And when they are wrong, you need to punish them. And the punishment was like an electrocution, yeah? Mm-hmm. And it started really small. It was just a little shock. And they were told, if they're still getting answers wrong, you need to increase the dose more and more and more, yeah? Very important to note that they were told this by like... They were told this by people in white coats with notepads, yeah?
Very important.
This was important for the experiment. So the person kept getting the answers wrong, and they would keep being told, okay, increase the dosage and electrocute them again. Increase the dosage and electrocute them again. And eventually the person was like begging, please don't. I beg of you. And the guy in the lab coat is saying, increase the dosage and shock them again, please. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Ones that did not specifically have a degree, yes. And eventually, I think something like 7 or 8 out of 10 of them electrocuted the person until the person lost consciousness. Because they were told to, by a person in a lab coat. I will have it noted that the person did not exist. Okay, it was like pre-recorded footage or something. Right?
Uh-huh.
But it was the idea that people will do anything they're told if they perceive the other person to have authority over them. So specifically, the fact that this person was wearing a lab coat and had like a notepad. There was 1 or 2 that did it even on correct answers. It was really fucked up. It was really fucked up. It was a really messed up experiment. It's kind of like the Stanford prison experiment, where they like started torturing people and stuff like that. The Lucifer complex, I think it's called, or something like that. The Lucifer element. When we're giving absolute power over a person, we're told that that person is like lesser than us and we turn evil. People do that apparently. But experiments like that would not be able to be run if, you know, we have sentient AI replicating that social experiment.
I mean, here's one way that you can think about sentient AI not fulfilling all of the aspects, is that there's a lot of cultural stuff that can't be factored into human decision. And cultural stuff that also changes over time based on, you know, historic events and stuff like that. So while the AI could give you a snapshot of time, it's not going to be beneficial for anything happening in the future because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But also it means that in order to keep that AI up to date, we need to continually poll people on for you know, to keep the inputs updated. Let's say that we were creating an AI to find out how people would react to flying cars. You know,
I want one.
If you, yeah, absolutely, you are one person who would like that. However, obviously the real way to find this out is to poll real people. You know, but if we've got then a human behavioral AI that's trying to mimic the behavior of humans in different scenarios, then that will only be on a basis of the people it has been polled before. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of effort to try and make a sentient AI give the outputs that you want versus just polling real people.
I agree. I think that it's one of those things where it's like I'm trying to work out the point of things. I always look at things now from like, well, what would this achieve? And speaking of what would this achieve, I suppose we should get on to the elephant in the AI room.
Let's go for it.
Which is AI art. And
Yes.
Papa, you have a beautiful new album out this year.
I do. It's good. It's fully vocalized. I sing on this one for, you know, first time in, well, there's a couple of songs on the old album that I sung on, but yeah, this one's fully vocalized. Really proud of it.
Tell me about the album art.
Yeah, the album art is something that is a departure from what I usually do. I love graphic design. I do a lot of graphic
Is it your
design, and so
passion?
I tend to. It is my passion. Graphic design is my passion, and so I usually make my own artwork. The previous album was some vector art that I created, and yeah. So usually it's mixed media. Sometimes I do photography. Sometimes I do vector art. You know, all that sort of stuff. This time I decided to take it in a little bit of a different direction, and I downloaded a GAN model, a generative adversarial network model, in order to create some artwork for me based on an input. So I installed Python and got to work in generating some stuff. And this was all before the massive downfall of AI art.
That was a very long-winded way of saying that that M used AI to create his album art this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got there in the end.
So you hate artists.
Absolutely, I do. Yeah, considering that, you know.
Oh no, this was not the direction I wanted this to go.
Well, you know. No, I don't hate artists. It was the fact that it was poor timing. Because obviously all of this was made before I sent it off to the distributor, and this is all like sometime last year. And yeah, effectively something that I thought was fun and something that I thought, you know, would be a nice thing to wrap up the feel of the album has sort of this connotation to it now.
So let's talk about AI, baby. Let's talk about AI art. So, what are people's problems with AI art? Because AI art is like a big topic at the moment. Obviously, for many reasons.
Are we listing them all?
What?
I can think of a million reasons why people don't like AI art.
Well, not all of them, but I guess let's talk about the main reasons. The main reason is, first of all, the data set often used. And I say often because I will say that not every AI uses the same data set. Is that fair to say?
There is a problem with saying that. Yeah. There is a problem with saying that. A lot of the more popular models use data sets that are unethical. I.e., the data sets that these AI art generators are using are often, majority of which contain copyrighted images that are used without permission, and basically copyrighted. Well, copyright works is the main one, isn't it? And so when people are using these AI generators to create art, it's drawing upon these copyrighted works, and to the point where you can actually get the AI to generate something that is very much plagiarism of the original work as an output. You know, if you tell it to generate me Sunflowers by Van Gogh, it will actually output something mimicking or very, very much resembling Sunflowers by Van Gogh.
Goh.
Goh.
You mentioned my favorite artist, so I had to appear.
So there is an ethical issue regarding that, and there are some models, obviously, that are being used that omit all these copyrighted works and only use stuff that
it's public domain, effectively.
Has been public domain or flagged as being able to be used. But the problem with that is that because it doesn't generate the same results or generates poorer results,
because it's working with a smaller data set, right?
Because of working with a smaller data set, they're seldom used. And so it doesn't really remove the problem. Because why would anybody who wants to exploit AI art want to use something that doesn't generate the best outputs?
So I think...
So that's the sort of circle there.
What would be the two biggest AI pieces? I guess...
Oh my goodness. It's probably Stable Diffusion and Midjourney are probably the biggest two for actually creating, acceptable outputs. DALL-E 2 is obviously a popular one for memery because it's...
DALL-E 1 was, or the main DALL-E machine, because it's DALL-E 2... What most people use is DALL-E Mini, which is based on the DALL-E machine, but isn't actually DALL-E at all, is it? It's using an older code set or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the prototype first made by OpenAI, the company in Sweden, I think they are. But yeah, that was their main prototype, and then they released it to the public as soon as they started working on DALL-E 2.
DALL-E 2 is very impressive, and it should be noted that DALL-E 2 is also mainly it's invite only, right?
I think it still is, yeah.
So effectively, not everyone can use it. It's mainly trained, DALL-E 2 is mainly trained on classical artwork, right?
Yes, it's and given its namesake of, Salvador Dali versus Wall-E, its model was created to sort of mimic artists' styles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's very good at, let's say, putting in Van Gogh again, and it creating a piece of new imagery in the style of Van Gogh.
So basically, if we keep going this way, we're never going to need new artists, right? Because we'll just keep rehashing old dead ones.
Aha! So, I see where you're going there. Obviously, in order for AI to keep on top of things, it's always going to need to be fed and always going to need new models to come out based on new art. Obviously, the thing is that AI can create stuff that hasn't been imagined before or even imagined easily, like because of the bar to entry for artists, really. Let's say that you wanted to commission someone to make the popular one that seems to be put into DALL-E is Muppets in Vietnam.
Okay.
Up until the release of DALL-E, we hadn't seen any imagery of this whatsoever. It would have taken someone to commission an artist of Muppets in Vietnam in order to see what that would look like. As funny as it is, obviously it's a bit of a waste of money to just do that.
But more Muppets is good, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As long as we can keep creating more Beaker artwork, I'll be happy.
But yeah, so it has made the creating of new concepts easier and cheaper. In which case we're getting, art that people haven't seen before. It's still going to be the fact that we're not going to get any more movements or, concepts or anything like that artists can actually truly create.
Although AI artists claim that all they're doing is starting a new trend.
Yeah.
They're saying that they are the movement, effectively.
In a way is true, but it does rely on everything that's come before it.
Exactly.
So it relies on those artists to be used in order for anything to come out of it.
And the main problem with AI art is we'll never create anything new out of thin air.
No, it's always going to be derivative of everything that's been put into it.
But also things like, it will only ever draw things that it can perceive, right?
Yes. If I make up a new object in my head, the AI has no concept of that. But if I was an artist, I would be able to visualize that concept and realize it. So that's a one-up that artists have over AI, is that artists have that ability to visualize, then realize that concept. Whereas in order for AI currently to do that, you've got to sort of...
You have to manage your prompts very hard, and it has to be iterative, basically.
That is one of the problems as well, that AI generators use prompts in order to create what you want as an output. And there's only so many words that can be fit into that in order to get your output before the AI starts dismissing things. Like let's say that I wanted a picture of a bunny girl with red eyes, peppered ears.
Yeah. That sounds cute.
Wearing a cape and a waistcoat.
That sounds cute.
It does sound cute, but there's going to be too much detail there for the AI to then think, right, well, I've got to fit all of this stuff. I know what all of these things are, but all of this stuff,
It doesn't sound cringy. Shut up, chat. I see where AI art could be useful, where an artist inputs their own style and art when sick or injured or something similar, then they can put in a prompt and alter it in their style. I think the AI art is best used when using it as a base to build off of. Not necessarily like using it as making something and being like, that's art. Let's go home for the day.
This is where the difference between exploiting AI and using AI is different, because obviously the AI art generators, it's not that bad when you think about it as being a legitimate tool for people who just want to create base concepts or stuff like that, like sketches that they can then draw over or stuff like that, and actually create a piece of art themselves using. So it does offer utility in that sense. But the way it's being misused is that people who had no ambition to create art whatsoever are now using this to create art and then sell potentially these outputs to other people who may not know any better.
Someone wanted to make AI art of me. I got a DM once being like, hey, do you mind if I use you as a prompt in AI? And like, I'll do some AI artwork of you. I said no. It sounded weird. It was an odd situation for me, because obviously as an AI student and as also a very narcissistic VTuber, I was kind of like, I want to see what that would look like. But at the same time, I can't justify using my artwork as a prompt because I didn't make my artwork. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I felt like it would have been a disrespect to my mama and my designer to use the design effectively that me and Kirin came up with, and then the artwork that my mama actually drew of me, and then generate AI art from that.
Yeah, I mean, especially since there are models out there that can use an input image. So I could actually take your PNG, feed it into one of these models, and then it will create an output in the style of. And that's effectively what I did for my album art. You know, it's the same concept there, where I used a photo of myself that I took, you know, which is why I thought that this was, you know, all above board.
Yep.
It's a photo that I took as an input.
I was there when you took the photo.
And then asked the AI to create versions of that same photo, but in its own style.
Didn't I take that photo?
No, I took it.
Okay. It was on a day where you took a bunch of photos, because Em is also a photographer. And then I think you asked me to take a couple as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there was nothing to stack your phone onto, basically.
Yes.
When in doubt, I'm used as a button pressing monkey. It's like, stand there and press the button now. And then I'll show it to Papa and he'll be like, yeah, you did it wrong, but sure. Yeah. And that comes to my second point. Composition.
Yes.
And I said this to you the other day when it came to photography, that what I look at as a decent photo, you will look at and be like, it's not great. As a professional of photography who has been paid money before to take photographs, you would look at a photo that I would think, it's pretty good, and be like, that's not great. But AI doesn't have that determination. At the moment, anyway. You said that it probably will soon.
Yeah. So effectively what's going to happen now is we're going to start seeing weighted outputs. Also, not even weighted outputs, weighted inputs. Where we're already stealing from artists, right?
Of course.
I say we. I'm not doing it myself.
We as a crew are just stealing from artists left, right, and center.
We as a society are...
We live in a society.
Absolutely. Are stealing artworks and photos and all that from legitimate artists and using that to feed a computer. Now, what I understand at the moment is all these models are just taking any inputs and creating stuff related on those inputs, which is why models like Midjourney look so good, because they're using a data set of artists that already have a higher caliber.
Midjourney does look good. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say that all AI art looks bad. Midjourney looks really freaking good.
Oh, absolutely. It's impressive, the output that it has.
I think my favorite piece was, is it called Last Selfie on Earth? Have you seen that piece?
I haven't, no.
I'll find it for you while you're talking. Keep talking about AI.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, obviously Midjourney is one of those ones that uses a higher caliber set of artists for its data set. But let's say that if I were to create a model using Flickr as my data set, what I could do is I could then tell the AI that all of the images that are popular on that website, to use in my data set, use those more than the ones that aren't popular. In that case, what's going to happen with anything that I generate with this AI is that it's going to be weighted towards the things that make all this popular. And what's that going to mean? It's going to mean that the images that have better color composition are favored. Image composition is favored. Contrast. Subject matter is probably going to favor animals a bit more, if if the internet has anything to say with it.
It's going to be a lot of
But
cats.
basically, it's going to be a lot of cats. But yeah, basically, what you're going to then see is that you can weight AI models to generate outputs that are better looking based on, popular status and all that.
I think that it's something that we have to consider. I think cats and pretty women, yeah, it's going to be a lot of big booba women too. I think something that we're going to have to deal with is the fact that AI art is here and that it's something that we have to deal with. But it's not something that we necessarily have to keep continuing in its current state. I think that legally there's a lot of action that can be taken to control AI art so that it is no longer using copyrighted imagery.
I was about to say that there are some legal things happening that may benefit artists. I'm not sure how much of this is true. This is just the stuff that I've picked up on my Twitter feed because it's been absolutely everywhere. But there was a case. This is about 8 years ago or so. I think. I'm guessing wildly. Anyways, neither here nor there. But there was a case.
Now making things up. He's gone rogue.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't this what this whole pep talk is?
Yes.
But either way, there was a court case that happened a while ago where a photographer left his camera unattended while a monkey
the monkey that took the selfie.
Exactly, the monkey that took the selfie.
I remember the monkey that took the selfie.
Absolutely, and this was a court battle which favoured the monkey.
The monkey took a selfie, and then the guy was actually making money off of the monkey selfie, even though he didn't take the photo. It was just his camera.
Absolutely, and the output or the outcome, of that court case was that in order for the photo to be copyrighted under the photographer, it meant that human autonomy needed to be present. But because the monkey took the picture, no human was present for the taking of that photo, or at least no human took the photo, in other words. Therefore, on the same precedent, anything created by AI is not the work of a human.
I think that's
because
the thing.
A computer has generated it.
I think the thing that annoys me most is I understand that why AI artists are getting mad, because obviously if someone's like profiting, and they are profiting off of your work. So say I'm like, I want to make a bunch of images of Pepper as drawn in M1's vector art style. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I get lots and lots of geometric bunnies. And then I start selling those as prints. And I haven't actually done anything. I've just used your art style. The thing that annoys me most with AI art is that all of this could have been avoided had government bodies and technology companies have been smart about how they set their things up. A lot of AI art bots and this, that, and the other. A lot of them started off as experiments and were never supposed to be used in the way that they are currently being used, right?
Yes.
And so they weren't regulated in the way that they probably should have been. And by that I mean we need to actually really start working on ethical sourcing. We need to start working out what is ethical to source, what is ethical to put into data sets, and what is ethical for AI to be using, and what is ethical for AI to not be using, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason we weren't doing that, and because of that, a lot of people are losing money, and a lot of people are upset, and a lot of AI artists are taking advantage of real artists who are basically losing work. And feel like they're losing a lot of work, because why would anyone hire them when you've got an AI that can do the same thing for less, except for draw hands, because AI is still awful at drawing hands.
I mean, that's the thing.
And knees. AI doesn't understand what knees are.
No.
And they don't really understand how knees work, because I've seen a lot of backwards-facing knees on AI artwork.
I mean, but that's the crux of it, though. I mean, obviously, the best outcome would be that anything created by AI art could only be used for non-profit, which would be, it would protect a lot of artists. It meant that people could still use it for memes, which would be the most,
Which is the thing that everyone really cares about.
Well, absolutely. That's the thing that got it all of its traction to start with, But basically, I've seen, and this is absolutely true. I've seen models being created solely on one artist.
That's crazy.
Absolutely. So what they're doing is they're taking an entire singular artist's entire collection of works, and they're creating a singular model based on that. And obviously, what's the AI going to do? It's just going to create anything that's absolutely stolen from this one artist. And sometimes it's creating stuff incredibly similar to that. And so you've got these artists hearing about this and thinking, what can I do to stop this? There's, at the moment, a lot of these artists are feeling helpless because, all of the time and effort that they've spent creating these works and, learning the craft has just been summed up in 20 minutes by someone who's stolen it all and creating stuff out of it.
But in happier news,
where's the justice in that?
In happier news, what's AI good at? What's good fit? What's the direction AI is going that you like?
So obviously, when we talk about AI, and we're thinking primarily about these generative adversarial networks and stuff like that create artworks. Anything that's non-creative is a good use of AI. Anything that allows research to be done is a massive triumph for AI. I've always been a fan of utilizing medicinal data sets for use of creating vaccines, or
like how they made the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Absolutely.
Like the COVID-19 vaccine was produced effectively using AI. By comparing the disease to previous diseases and previous vaccines made, and then whittling it down to what is a safe concoction of compounds and chemicals that can be used to fight this specific vaccine.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to get to a point where we're going to start seeing that AI will help us wipe out cancers and stuff like that, because it's able to see stuff with a broader picture.
Able to see patterns better than people can as well.
Able to see patterns as well, yeah. I mean, although we're very good, AI can do that stuff a lot faster.
Because we have a habit as people to see patterns where there aren't any as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's able to take in a wide series of data, so even stuff that we didn't even think about, and propose stuff that will work. And that's the exciting stuff, really. That's what I want to see more of, without people getting too disenfranchised in AI and thinking that it's all doom and gloom.
I think what
do you think of that?
What I'm studying specifically what I'll be working on specifically for the next year or so is how AI can be used to help with accessibility. And so how AI can be used to help people live more independent lives that currently can't live independently and stuff. So being able to manage scheduling and this, that, and the other, medication routines and social routines and stuff, and how that can be used to help other people, basically. Yeah,
I remember one of the things that you wanted to sort of work on during a time at uni was sort of like companion robots and stuff like that, or the companion AI that allowed people to be able to rely on this thing to, to help them out in times of trouble, or, you know.
Well, because that's the thing that I find most interesting. Like, as somebody who struggles with, I can have a friend. Exactly, all the weebs can get friends, and all the VTuber simps can get friends. That'd be nice. Because we have a big problem with stuff like loneliness. But I think it's really easy for us to interact with creatures. Like, lots of people prefer animals to people. And I think if we design robots in a similar way, we can prefer robots to people. Not in a weird way, but it's easier to talk to a robot, or it's easier to deal with something. So for people who struggle with, like, social anxiety and stuff, rather than spending, say, £25,000 to train a dog to help you go to the shops and stuff, you can instead use a bot. And that bot can help you. Pepper Pals, copyrighted now, little peppers to remind you to go out and touch grass. Well, basically, yeah. And things like reminding you of things. Because my ADHD means I forget stuff all the time. And having a robot that would be able to keep track of my moods and my schedules and this, that, and the other would be helpful. And to keep me on track of things.
That's the stuff I love about. This all falls under the term of accessibility, and it's allowing. Like the thing that I've always loved is, I've got an iPhone.
Yes.
I'm one of those people.
I also have an iPhone. Congratulations on getting an iPhone.
Thank you. I'm a blue person. But yes, it's the fact that you can go into the accessibility menu in your iPhone and look at how many things are built in to allow people who can't do things as easily as everyday people can, but allows them to do that with their iPhone. Like
iPhone has way more accessibility options than any other phone. I remember reading about somebody who uses their iPhone in a very specific way, and it's crazy the things that you can set an iPhone up for that just helps with everyday stuff.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that really sort of opened my eyes to the stuff. Is that there's an option called sound recognition in the menus, which for people who are deaf, this is incredible, because what your phone will, absolutely. There's always a fear that I will become fully deaf.
M is partially deaf. I suppose we should explain that, but yeah.
Yes, yeah, partially deaf, partially blind. Not fully there. But either way, so this sound recognition feature on the iPhone is incredible, because it will alert you when things that deaf people can't hear are happening, whether it be your door knocking, your front door knocking, the kettle going off, a baby crying. Let's say that you've given birth as a deaf person, you need to know when your baby's crying, so your phone will actually pick up the sound of a baby crying and let you know. And that's just something that's phenomenal to me. And so I want to see more of that happening.
I think it's pretty impressive, because obviously for an everyday able-bodied person, it's things that we don't really think about. But for somebody who is deaf or somebody who is blind and things like that, it's the stuff that they rely on in order to live their lives every day.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like technology when it does stuff like that. I think that's cool anyway. I sent you a very awful image.
Oh.
I hope you enjoy it. That's an AI depicting the last days on Earth.
Oh my, that is awful. Yeah.
I haven't posted anywhere else because it's a terrifying image. But
yeah, if you can imagine a sea of fluff with a very distorted, eroded skull being taking a selfie. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, the prompt was like the last selfie in existence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very cool. But it's also, AI artwork. But it's also things like that I think people latch onto. Like whenever we're pitching ideas in AI, because we pitch ideas in our seminars sometimes of what if we build an AI that does this, or what if we build an AI that does that. The first thing our lecturer does is he sits there, he listens to all of our ideas, and then he goes, "That's great. What will normal people think about?" And it's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Okay, so you pitched the idea of an AI doctor to me. What would a normal everyday person think about when you're pitching that idea?" And it always boils down to, they probably won't like it. And therefore, the idea will never be funded, and the idea will never go anywhere.
For at least two reasons. One being, I can't trust a computer to do surgery on me. And
They
two,
did surgery on a grape, though.
yeah, they did surgery on a grape. and two, what about the real doctors? What happened to them? Yeah.
It's definitely something that people think about. Did you hear about the Lawsons?
No.
Did I tell you about the Lawsons? There's a Lawsons in Japan that has no human beings working in it. It only has VTubers working in it, right?
I did read about this thing, yeah.
But the VTubers that are using it are like housebound disabled people who can't go into work every day for various reasons. And so Japan was like, we've got a great idea. We'll make our Lawson's employees VTubers that work on a screen, and they're like, "Oh, how can I help you?" This and the other. "Oh, you want that's down aisle, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, that's a genius idea. So when we go to Japan, we need to go find a Lawson's.
Yeah,
that's run entirely by VTubers. Because me and a group of friends, including Mbapa, are all going to the Nippon next year.
Get some fried chicken.
Get some fried chicken. I would very much like some fried chicken right now. We're not eating much because there's going to be thousands of foods to go around very little people tomorrow. Nippon desu. I know. I'm very excited to see. Japan doesn't have that many robots, but I feel like Japan has embraced robots more than, say, most other countries have, right? Except, have you seen the delivery robots in Leeds and stuff? They're so cute. They play a little song when they deliver your food. They're like, you say you order something on Uber Eats. They're like these tiny little robots that drive to your house, deliver your food. That you have a special pin on your phone that unlocks the thing. I think it weighs a lot as well, so you can't just pick it up or anything. I blame Gundam. And it plays a little song. You can choose the song it plays when it gets to your house, and you put in the pin, and then you get your groceries out from it. And I think they're so cute. But have you seen them? Like, they worked out a way of getting them to, like, endear themselves to people, which is that they ask people for help sometimes. So, like, they'll be at the stop at a zebra crossing or something, and there'll be someone else there, and they'll detect there's someone else there, and then they're like, "Hey, do you mind helping me cross the road?" And we like that because then we feel superior. And we feel like we're taking care of something. We're like, "Oh, okay. Just follow me, Mr. Robot." And then they zoom across the street together. And I think that's just really sweet. And I think they're very cool. But on the subject of taking your job, Lauren, I think it's safe to say, though, that people need to realize that even if robots start taking specific jobs, that there are more jobs happening because of AI. So there will be things that, like, curate. There'll be people who, like, curate data sets. And that'll be a job. And there'll be people who design AI, and that'll be a job. Or there'll be people who help implement AI into certain workplaces, and that'll be a new job. So we're getting new jobs in place of the old. Didn't some place that used Roombas for clean put googly eyes on them to stop people bullying them? Yeah, they're cute though. I've always had a soft spot for Roombas. I want to buy a Roomba, but they're very expensive. And I've got stairs in my house. And cats.
You just need 2 Roombas then, don't you?
That's true, I could use 2. Or I could just take mine upstairs. But won't he fall downstairs? That's what I worry about.
Put a little gate.
A little gate on my stairs so he doesn't fall down. I think we got like 10 minutes left.
Okay.
I think we've asked I think we've answered a bunch of questions. I think we talked about AI for a long time. I think we've done good. We've done good, champ. How was your first stream on the channel? Your first of many.
My first of many? How many others am I doing?
No, you're doing loads.
Okay.
You're easy to just grab. You don't say no as much as Lauren does. If I just message you out of the blue, I'm like, Papa, I need help. You're just like, okay, what do you need? So it'll just be, Papa, I need you to star in things. And you'll be like, okay. You looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
That is, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
It's actually in an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Did you hear I sung a Christmas carol on my channel?
No.
How did you not hear? You did the instrumental for it. That was another thing. I was like, Papa, I want to do a short where I sing a Christmas carol. Please help. And he was like, okay, what song are you going to sing? But then I realized I didn't know Christmas carols, but you do. You're like an expert on Christmas carols. If anyone needs any help with Christmas music, Papa is the guy to go to. You've been stereotyped now. You're like Michael Bublé.
Oh my goodness.
I'd be very useless in this well, I would tailor the conversation to the different people I have to talk to. Or I'll just talk to myself. But everyone wants you to replace me. We don't want flesh people taking the jobs of VTubers. We gotta keep the anime waifus safe in life. The flesh tubers have reigned far too long in life.
Yeah, I've got a very hybrid situation here where I'm a flesh PNG tuber.
Bring back Mayor McStreamy. No, that guy's an asshole. He ruined my last collab. What a dickhead.
I don't know, I liked Mayor McStreamy.
You would. You really would. I'm putting on something. Papa.
Hello.
If you had to recommend anyone to listen to any of your music, what music would you recommend they would listen to?
Anything but my music.
Anything but your music. That's great.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
No, yeah, my latest album is out on Spotify. You can listen to it there. If you want a tearjerker ballad, listen to Reset Me. Seems to be a favourite amongst the peeps. And yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm totally not currently playing it.
Oh no. Like, actually Reset Me?
Yeah.
I'll have to content claim that one.
I'll need to get my money's worth here. Demonetized?
Yeah.
It's not demonetized. I actually have permission to play this one.
Mm-hmm. And your channel's not monetized anyway, so...
How dare you? We're pushing for partner next year. Do you think I'll get partner next year, Papa?
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. As long as Mayor McStreamy continues.
How long did it take for you to get partner?
Me?
You are a YouTuber. You're the first proper YouTuber I've had to do. You are my first YouTuber collab.
I guess, yeah.
It's so nice to not have to be dealing with Twitch at the same time.
Yeah, when did I become partner? I don't have a specific date, but I guess it was like a month or so after I got popular. It wasn't when I started my channel.
Okay. I was going to say, a month after, I was like, what the fuck?
Nah,
Here I am grinding. I'm on the grind.
basically, I had been making videos on this channel at least since, let me guess, 2014 or so.
Mm-hmm.
No, earlier than that. Oh yeah, no, way earlier.
That's a long time ago.
Absolutely. I've had this channel for a while. Either way, it all popped off when I made my first Game Grunts remix.
626. Thank you, Viceroy. I'm doing good.
Nothing compared to mine.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I'm not boasting. I've been at 29,000 subscribers for years.
What a humble brag. I've been at 29,000 for years. Ugh. Ugh. I've been stuck monetized at 29,000. I've been unable to break the 20 out from 29,000. Do you have any advice for people? Me? Do you have any advice for me? Me?
Oh, advice for you?
I want advice.
I don't know. I think you've got this covered.
Oh no, I don't.
without selling out, you're doing pretty well.
I would love to sell out. I would sell out in a heartbeat.
Maybe find some sponsorships then.
Oh, I need some sponsorships in life. I would sell out. I do a Raid Shadow Legends. That's one of my rules. That's one of my dreams. One of my dreams in life is to do a Raid Shadow Legends promotion. I wanna get sponsored by them. Never played the frickin' game in my life, but I would play it. NFTs, I'm not doing NFTs. That's the one thing I won't sell out with. Oh, it changed song. This is just like any other day.
Oh, wow.
It's the second most popular song on your Spotify.
Oh, wow.
Fun fact for you. If Ronda Rousey can get a character in it, you can. No! Oh, wait, Ronda Rousey has a character in Raid Shadow Legends? I want a character. I want a character in a gacha game. I want people to have to wail for me. Like they don't on my Ko-fi.
Knowing your luck could be in Fortnite before you're in a gacha game.
Oh, I would be in Fortnite. Would I be good? Do you think my model would be good? Genshin Impact. Genshin PEP Pact. Would I be a 4-star or a 5-star, Papa?
I have no idea what that means. 6-star, why not? Make another.
It depends on how rare you are, basically. And how good you are, sometimes. But I think you've had a good year too. You released another album. I think that's more than a lot of people have done this year.
Yeah.
Proud of yourself?
Weirdly enough, I had another album in the works that used, and this is going to come back to the topic of tonight as well.
Yeah.
I started taking outputs from an AI called OpenAI Jukebox.
Yep.
Which you may have heard, that creates music effectively. It's like AI art, but AI music instead. And it's very basic at the moment, but I liked the sort of things that this AI was creating and decided to reimagine them with like real instruments and stuff. But since all the discourse on AI has ruined that for me, that's probably not going to be a thing.
Also, hello Lucy, welcome to the chat. Hello.
But at least I'll continue with the original works.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's 2023 looking like? Well, yeah, 2023 looking like for Papa.
More guitars.
More guitars.
Yep.
How many guitars do you have at the moment?
I have. Hang on, let me just count them out. I've got 2 basses. I've got 2 ukuleles. I've got 2 electrics. I've got a guitar lele. And 2 acoustic guitars. So effectively 8 guitars in total.
And you need more, yeah?
Oh yeah.
So everyone buy Papa's new album so he can buy more guitars. And stream it on Spoofy.
Yes.
I'll put a link in chat now. The other day, what to say? Sorry, I'll stop singing. You went self-titled this time.
I did, yes.
Any reason?
It's got to happen at some point, isn't it?
Does it?
Not that I think that the this album is the pinnacle of M1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think the pinnacle is yet to come?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
I'm
good.
always improving. Yeah.
Do you think it'll be with my EP?
Your EP's going to be phenomenal for different reasons.
Oh, this is not the new album. This is the other album. There we go. So, I think we're all good. I think we've AI talked ourselves out. I think it's time for us to drink more Bucks Fizz.
Sounds good to me.
I spoke to Papa before he got here. I was like, how much alcohol should I buy? And he was like, like, what do you drink? And I was like, I drink Bucks Fizz, which is like fizzy wine and orange juice. I was like, I drink Bucks Fizz. He was like, okay, why don't we just get like a couple of bottles? And I was like, okay. And then I put a couple of bottles in my basket, and he was like, oh, maybe like 4? I was like, okay. And he was like, just 5 for good measure. So we've got 5 bottles of Bucks Fizz to get through. I think we've already gotten through like 1 now, yeah? Yeah. And tomorrow, Papa will be saving me from food poisoning myself.
Oh yeah, no, we're not letting you in that kitchen again.
You'll be cooking in the kitchen where the 20 cheese omelette was cooked. Are you excited for that?
No, because there's cheese remnants everywhere.
There isn't. I have cleaned that kitchen since. How dare you, sir? There might be cheese remnants somewhere, though. The ghost of 20 cheeses. Hi, Nupterry. Hello, 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 hello. But it was, yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for the next year. I think we're both going to have a good year next year.
Yeah, hopefully. What's your next pep talk going to be?
I don't know.
I've stunned you there.
Huh?
I've stunned you there.
Yeah, you did. I was like, I don't fucking know. I don't have anyone else to talk to stuff about. So, Papa, what's the next pep talk gonna be?
I think we need to ask the chat maybe.
VTubing or why it needs to stop. Oh, I shit you not. For my university, for a university assignment last year, I actually did I did a stream, not a stream, sorry. I did an academic report on VTubing and COVID-19. I had to do a presentation on VTubing to like an entire class of people that was marked. And my tutor afterwards, he was like, I would really like to criticize you, but there was absolutely nothing wrong with your presentation. It was perfect. I was like, thank you. And then I got like one of the highest marks in the class for my academic report on VTubing. But I remember getting my feedback back from my presentation, and it was things like information on Gao Gura and stuff like that. I was dying. But thank you. I think we should, we need to hand it over to chat. Find out what they want us to talk about. Cooking. Maybe we could talk about cooking.
Absolutely.
Teach me how to cook. If I was smart, we would live stream you cooking Christmas dinner.
Oh, there's no one doing that.
You could teach me how to cook Christmas dinner. Too soon to talk about cooking?
Yeah, I've still got visions of 20 cheese on that, so that's not...
I had to eat it. How do you think I felt? I was
How
the
did
one
it
that was
taste?
sick. Awful.
Oh, well, didn't you put feta in there?
I did. I got a big chunk of feta in one of my bites. That was disgusting. I threw up after that stream.
I don't blame you.
I threw up a little bit, and I laid down on the kitchen floor for like half an hour. I will confirm it was not a good idea. Wouldn't recommend it. What song is this? Crossing the Line. We all threw up watching it. I'm just trying to think about things I have an expertise in. Magic. Anime. Anime titties. VTubing. Cooking. Art. Writing. Story writing. Annoying people. I'm good at annoying people. Building cities. I'm really good at building cities. I could do a pep talk with Maya McStreamy. Anime one could last 5 hours with no stop. It could.
A pep talk with Mary McStreamy would be one to watch, surely.
I don't know how long I'll be able to do a whole pep talk for. I only got like 3 hours sleep last night. If that. I was up till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, this is the week I'm gonna fix my sleep schedule. And it got progressively worse. Which is funny to me. Mary McStreamy pep talk? Ah, okay. Is there any closing arguments you would like to give Papa about AI?
AI's bad, isn't it?
AI shit in it. It's just shit in it.
Shit. No, we'll obviously have to see what happens legally, and hopefully it benefits the people who are wronged.
And hopefully NFTs plummet into a state of non-existence.
Yes.
Because I hate NFTs too, despite what the NFT bros think.
Yeah, NFTs was another concept as well. With the great in theory, fixes a problem.
What problem?
But now, the problem where
People had too much money to burn.
Sorry, okay, not so much NFTs, but more blockchain technology.
Okay.
Because I actually feel sorry for Imogen Heap as well for this, because
You go.
she was looking, because she was looking into using blockchain for
Like
keeping
music
track
rights and stuff?
of music rights between artists and labels and publishers and all that, and being able to have a blockchain version of this data. That way it can't be tampered with by labels or artists. And that way everybody knew where they stood in terms of royalties, which was an amazing idea. And one of these things as well that would be easy to look up, because a lot of these, a lot of royalty collection societies and artists and labels like to write stuff in contracts and then only refer to the contracts, which makes things a little bit iffy when trying to backtrack these things. And so what Imogen was hoping to do was utilize the blockchain in order to keep all this data stored and secured. But now that the blockchain has got a bad name for itself, it's sort of one of these things now that's probably going to need to be revised.
I think one of the main problems I have with stuff like the blockchain and whatnot is the amount of computational power it takes.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not a fan of burning through GPUs for the sake of it. And I'm not a fan of the amount of electronic power, electrics it uses. Therefore, like, global warming is my main concern. I'm just like, man, do we really have to use, like, the power of, like, the Amazon rainforest just to power, like, crypto bros mining for Bitcoin?
Well, that's the reason why NFTs are frowned upon, because it's not necessarily the blockchain itself that's causing this power consumption. Because really, blockchain is just another form of the cloud, except these tokens have to be encrypted before it gets passed on to these other nodes across the country or across the world. So that in itself is not what's taking up this, the huge amount of power consumption or GPU computational power. It's the fact that in order for people to exploit cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, they need to utilize GPUs in order to effectively brute force tokens. And that's what's causing all of the the power consumption.
But it sucks.
Yeah, it absolutely sucks.
And it makes pandas cry.
Yep.
So think about that before you invest in Bitcoin. Is it you making pandas cry? And bunnies.
Yeah, join us next time when we talk about NFTs.
Join us next time when we announce our NFT project, PEP tokens.
Oh no, Pepcoin.
Pepcoin. Yeah, my new coin, Pepcoin. I promise you I'm not going to do a rug pull. It'll be just a failing business. It won't be a rug pull. They're different things.
That's what they all say.
So just because I ended up with 6 million and you guys ended up with nothing doesn't mean it's a rug pull. It just means I did business good and you guys didn't. But yeah, I think we did good. Yeah. I think we put the world to right, as the British term is. I think that's a British term. I don't think Americans use that term, do they? Unless you don't know what that term is.
I don't know. I'm not American.
No, it's a British term. It's British. It's British. You're also my first Brit.
Whoop.
Whoop. You're my first YouTuber, my first Brit. We gotta keep that going. Gotta keep that energy high. But yeah, thank you for coming. If you want to find more M1 stuff, it's all over on his channel. Support him in all of his musical endeavors and anything else he ends up doing. He's a very
thank you for having me.
He's a very smart person with very smart thoughts in his head.
Cheers. Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. And
he's lying about that. He has to say that. It's on my channel.
No, absolutely not. No. But yeah, it was the first one of many, and I enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad everyone in chat enjoyed it too. Thank you for joining us. If you got any other suggestions of pep talks you want to happen in the future, just let me know. Make sure you join my Discord and you hang out with me on Twitter and you have a great Christmas. That's the important thing as well. Merry Christmas, everyone. And Papa, you have to say Merry Christmas too.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
I hate that. I hate that. I wish I hadn't done that. I'm never having you back on my channel now. How dare you? But thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you all have a good time. Have a good Christmas. I hope everyone gets what you wanted Santa to bring you. And enjoy yourselves. I'll leave you out with Reset Me again. But yeah, goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Thank you for coming to the show.
Reset me. I used to try to figure me out, just the same old story. Why won't you just let it go? Your head is reeling, all filled up with doubt. You know that I can't, I feel it show. Yeah, you're trying to figure me out, just the same old story. Why won't you just let it go? Your head is reeling, all filled up with doubt. Now how can this love grow? trying